بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Today we are going to talk about Macmillan Flying 5. Concentrate please. Macmillan Flying 5. We are going to focus on Unit 3, Grammar in Context. We are on Macmillan Flying 5, Unit 3, Grammar in Context. Our rule today is about non-defining relative clauses. Non-defining relative clauses. Yesterday we talked about defining relative clauses. كان موضوعنا في الحصة الماضية defining relative clauses. Now we are going to focus on non-defining relative clauses. Please open your books on page 32 and 33. Okay, by the end of the lesson, we will have differentiated between defining and non-defining relative clauses. Defining and non-defining relative clauses. This is the first objective. We will differentiate between defining and non-defining relative clauses. Number two, or objective number two, or aim number two, we will use defining and non-defining relative clauses in sentences. يجب أن تعرف الفرق بين defining and non-defining relative clauses. Look at this schedule or timetable, or table, defining relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses. What is the difference? What is the difference between the two? As I said yesterday, we focused on defining relative clauses. Today, non-defining relative clauses. هذا الفرق بين القاعدتين. Defining relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses. Look at number one. Look at number one. That is the player who scored the goal. That's the player who scored the goal. This sentence is called defining relative clause. كل هذه الجملة أساسية ومكملة لبعضها. Another sentence. معاذ is the student who got high mark in the exam. As I said, all the sentence is necessary to be understood. لكي تفهم هذه الجملة يجب أن تكون مكتملة. That's the player who scored the goal. ما نستطيع نحذف من هذه الجملة. لاحظ الجملة الثانية التي تسمى non-defining relative clauses. That's the player, comma, who is number 9, comma, scored the goal. It's a little bit the same as number one, but there is something different, which is between commas. الجملة تحتوي على فاصلتين، ما بداخل هذه الفاصلة نستطيع حذفه، وهو ما يسمى ب non-defining relative clauses. إذن that's the player who is number 9 scored the goal. لو حذفنا هذا الجزء who is number 9 الجملة مكتملة، فتصبح الجملة that's the player scored the goal. That's the player scored the goal. الجملة واضحة ومعناها واضح ومكتملة. إذن ما هو باللون الأحمر هو non-defining relative clause، يعني نستطيع أن نحذف الجملة بدون ما يختل معنى الجملة. ولاحظ الجملة الأولى، هل نستطيع حذف ما هو باللون الأحمر؟ لا نستطيع. So it is defining relative clause. جملة مكتملة المعنى. Non-defining relative clause, that's the player who is number 9 scored the goal. Non-defining relative clause. Look at number 2 again. معاذ, who is my son, got high mark in the exam. معاذ, who is my son, got high mark in the exam. This sentence is called non-defining relative clause. Which part of the sentence? Who is my son? It means that I can cross out who is my son. I can cross out without changing the meaning. Again, معاذ got high mark in the exam. The meaning is full. المعنى مكتمل وواضح. معاذ, who is my son, got high mark in the exam. I can cross the non-defining relative clause. It becomes معاذ got high mark in the exam. This is the difference between the two sentences. هذا هو الفرق بين الجملتين defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause. خذ نظرة وفرق بين الجملتين وننتقل للشريحة الثانية. Exercise 2. Exercise 2. Write sentences with non-defining relative clauses and the information given. Write sentences with non-defining relative clauses. We want to complete the sentence using non-defining relative clause. Look at number 1, which is solved. Tennis balls, which are usually yellow for high visibility, used to be white. Look at the sentence. It is non-defining relative clause. It's called non-defining relative clause. It means that we can cross out the blue writing. Tennis ball used to be white. هذه الجملة مكتملة ولا يختل المعنى. Look at number 2. Adi Dassler began Adidas in the early 1920s or 20s. His younger brother was the owner of Puma. How we can solve this sentence? Look at the answer. Look at the answer. Adidas Dassler, whose, because it is possession, whose younger brother was the owner of Puma, began Adidas in the early 1920s. Okay, this is the answer. We used whose. Whose is called relative pronouns. Number 3. Formula 1. Formula 1 has seen great technological progress. We want to use, it is probably the world's most expensive sport. How can we make or complete the sentence using non-defining relative clause? By this way. Look at the sentence again. Formula 1, which is probably the world's most expensive sport, has seen great. Okay, this is non-defining relative clause. It means that I can cross out the red writing without changing the meaning, of course. Look at number 4. Number 4, Scotland has lots of great golf courses. Scotland has lots of great golf courses. I want to complete the sentence using non-defining relative clause. We can say, because we used Scotland, this is a place, so we used where. Scotland is a place, as I said yesterday. Scotland, where great golf courses began Scotland, where golf began, there has lots of great courses. Again, number 4, Scotland is a place. We used where. Scotland, where golf began, there has lots of great golf courses. Clear? Number 5, Paul Tergat was a great marathon number. Paul Tergat is a person. So what do we use? Think, please. So try to answer number 5, 6, 7 as an exercise for you, as a homework. Okay, let's turn to another slide. To get more information about grammar, go to page 36. To get more information, go to page 36 in your pupil book. Next. Joining the sentences with a relative clause. We want to join the sentences using relative clauses. Number 1, the city is a beautiful. I was born there. The city is beautiful. I was born there. Defining. It means that we want to complete the sentence using defining relative clause. وهي الجملة الأساسية التي لا نستطيع الحذف منها. فتصبح the city where, because it's a place, the city where I was born there is a beautiful. So we joined the two sentences into one using defining relative clause. The city where, I want to join the two sentences. The city where I was born is a beautiful. This is called defining relative clause because I can't cross out any word. of the sentence. Number 2, the shirt is really smart. I bought it last Saturday. The shirt is really smart. I bought it last Saturday. I want to complete the sentence with non-defining relative clause. So how can it be completed? By this way. The shirt, which is something, the shirt which, don't forget comma, the shirt which, or comma, which I bought last Saturday, comma, is really smart. Again, the shirt which I bought last Saturday is really smart. I can cross out the sentence between the two commas. Number 3, last year was great. I passed all my exams, non-defining. Also complete the sentence using non-defining. Last year, it is time. So how can I complete? Using non-defining. You see? Last year, as I said, because it is time, I used when. And I used comma because it is non-defining. Last year, comma, when I passed all my exams, comma, was great. In this sentence, I can cross out the sentence between the two commas. Last year, when I passed all my exams, was great. Number 4, the man is angry. He rang yesterday. Defining. The man, a person. We can use what? What can we use with a person? Who or which? Let's see. Look at the sentence. For the answer, the man is angry, he rang yesterday, defining. The man who, as I said, with a person we use who. The man who rang yesterday is angry. Look at it again. The man is angry, he rang yesterday. Join the two sentences, it becomes the man who rang yesterday is angry. In this sentence, it is defining relative clause, so it means I can't cross it out. Number 5, this drink is my favorite drink. It is really healthy. Use non-defining. Non-defining, it means I can cross out. This drink is what? Who or which? Who or which? The drink, comma, which is really healthy, comma, is my favorite drink. Again, في هذه الجملة, the drink which is really healthy is non-defining. تسمى non-defining. It means that I can cross out. The drink which is really healthy is my favorite drink without changing the meaning. Number 6, my neighbors aren't very nice. Their son makes a lot of noise. In this sentence, we want to make non-defining relative clause. The neighbors aren't very nice. Their son. The sentence needs possession. Possession, ملكية. The neighbors, comma, whose. Possession, we use whose. Whose son makes a lot of noise, aren't very nice. Again, my neighbors, comma, whose son makes a lot of noise, aren't very nice. Number 7, the hotel. The hotel is a place. The hotel was beautiful. We stayed there in the summer. Defining. The hotel is a place. So we use what? Place, we use what? Where? Okay. The hotel where we stayed in the summer was beautiful. The hotel where we stayed in the summer was beautiful. Okay. Number 8, this writer is very good. This writer is very good. His last book sold over 1 million copies. The writer is very good, his last. In this sentence, there is a position. هناك في الجملة ملكية. ما هي أداة الربط للملكية؟ What? the writer whose, as we said here in the sentence number 6, whose. This writer whose last book sold over 1 million copies is very good. So in the sentence again, the sentence is possession, so we used whose, and it is non-defining relative clause. It means that I can cross out the sentence between the two commas. Okay, this is about defining relative clauses. This is about defining relative clause. So I hope that you get information about or the difference between defining and non-defining. Defining relative clause means أن الجملة تحتاج المعنى كامل ولا نستطيع الحذف منها. أما non-defining relative clause فنستطيع الحذف من الجملة ونستطيع حذف ما بين الفاصلتين. These are about non-defining relative clause and defining relative clause. My advice is to get benefit. Please get benefit from the barcode in the top of the page. Get benefit from the barcode in the top of the page. Please استفد من الباركود الموجود في أعلى الصفحة لأنه يعطيك المادة السمعية للدرس ويعطيك الدرس كامل على موقعين. شكرا لكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.